Billy Beige here, and I wanted to talk about RoboForce. Now, why did I want to talk about RoboForce? Well, it's kind of actually come up in the past couple months that the Nacelle company has finally found a home for their RoboForce show. The RoboForce cartoon they have where they're doing is by the same people who did was it the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? So it has a similar kind of like animation style there. The trailer is on YouTube. Apparently it's produced by Dwayne the Rock Johnson, so that's a thing that's odd to me. But hey, whatever gets stuff out there. But if you know RoboForce, you probably know it more for the original toys, the Glyos figures, or the newer. It was like a very important toy label, but then it had where it was in Walmart stores under RoboForce on the shelf. They had Max 89, because they had to name it that, Fireproof Max 89, and then they had Wrecker. And if you saw them, they had where they were in really bright, vibrant packaging, but they they all went on clearance because like I got both of these for $15 a piece, and yeah. So that was a thing that happened, but they're still available, like on their website. You can get them on eBay, things like that. But the big problem that reviewers and myself had with these was it seemed like it was trying to be too nostalgic, or it was leaning on the wrong idea of the nostalgia there. Because again, this is a neat looking robot. It has a ton of articulation in 95% of it. But one of the features that RoboForce had was these damn suction cups. And for a figure that looked, well, was about the size of like a freaking like soda can, soda can with arms basically, with the suction cup on there, it was neat for the time. You could stick it anywhere. But these feet on this guy make this guy horrible to stand, to pose, unless you have a smooth surface just to stick him to. It takes away the fun of an action figure. Why have all this articulation if you can't stand up? So this is the solution to that. And I tried to make this video about a week ago because online there is a 3D print file. I think it was made back in 2023. I'll link it down in the description. And I printed those out because I just got, gifted a 3D printer, Ender Pro 3. So I was like, oh, cool. I can print these out and use these. Of course, I was over anxious, didn't pay attention because I'd waited so long. I was like, oh, I just print this out and pop it in. When I printed out the foot, the foot's good, but the foot's too small. And I was like, oh no. Again, this is on me, because what I should have, or at least what I should have done, was there was another piece that needed to be printed in a soft, rubbery filament to kind of make like a socket that goes over this that can then pop in there, and then it keeps it kind of tight and stuff. Cool beans. That's awesome. Whatever. What I wanted to do with this, though, originally, before I knew I needed this, was I was going to coat this, and I did. I coat this in the XTC 3D brush on coating for 3D prints from Smooth On, which is really good. It went on really smooth. It had where it took away a lot of the print lines on my second one because this one, again, I was in a hurry and just going, I want to get this done. I want to do this. I want to do the thing I've been waiting to do. I've had this guy on the shelf since it went on clearance last year. But since this did not fit in there, this urged me to, since it was allowed on the file, to remix it. And I had where I enlarged the ball. I made sure it fit and popped in there. I heated up the figure. You got to heat it up in water, dunk this in water for about microwave for 3 minutes, dunk this in that water for about a minute, and this will pop in there. I then took this and I put that coating on there, and I think it's good enough for government work. It's not printed in black filament. You can see where the resins kind of come over there, but again, it's just gonna sit on the ground. And again, this will have him where he can sit on my shelf. So I'm gonna heat up some water, pop these in, and then see how well these work. Pray for me, everyone. Pray for me. Now, I've put one foot on there, but I also wanted to show you how to put it on there as well. I've had it soaking in here for a little bit over a minute. I took the foot I printed out. Again, this is covered in that, like, was that XTC 3D resin coat in there to have where it strengthened the prints. And I put just the littlest dab of shock oil on top, just in case. Just in case. Because, I mean, like, I made, I think, the whole circle there was supposed to be like 14.2 millimeters, something like that. Some kind of number that I have long since forgotten. But so now it's heated up. See, it's got a little pliability there. So I'm going to take it before it cools down. Take this and just kind of gently work it into there and then pop it's in there. Boom. Now he's got feet. Now this Max 89 has feet. This is wonderful. This is what I've been waiting to do with this guy for this long. I'm gonna let it cool down. So yeah, this turned out way better than I thought it would, honestly. Putting the drop of shock oil on there and popping it in there, it still has where it's that right kind of nice and tight in the joint so it can move, but it's not floppy, and it has where it holds a pose. Because like right now, I got them in this kind of like dynamic stance here, and since the feet are so wide, it helps with that balance. It may not have the most extensive ankle range there, like if I had the means to have where like I went further with this, remix this further, or if a certain toy company, Nacelle toy company, I'm talking to you, took this and had where they made it a double ball joint, a ball joint into the lower leg, and then took that base and put a ball joint there, it would have, like, I think, the best range of motion that this guy could have. It'd basically have an ankle rocker. But I mean, like, this in itself is kind of like an ankle rocker. It's kind of fudging, but I feel like this makes this figure worth it, and it makes it an actual action figure that's cool to pose and actually stand on your shelf and not flop around or have to like be crooked and weird to try to stand up. It's dope. Now, I do hope when the show premieres, it should, I think it's April 12th, I said, like it actually has where it's good, it's fun, it's successful, because like RoboForce has a troubled history with the show, thanks to Transformers, but it should have where it's got a chance now. It's on Tubi. I love Tubi. Tubi's free. I play Tubi roulette with horror movies all the time. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it's free. It's worth a check out. Got some nostalgia there. And again, like these feet turned out really, really well. They turned out so well, in fact, I'm going to take the file that I remixed and I'm going to put it on like Thingiverse. I think it's like Colts 3D. I'm going to put it on all the 3D printer websites. And I'm going to have the same license that the original guy did. I can't remember the name on there, but I will give him credit in this video. The same kind of license on there. It has where you can just print it. You can do it commercially. You can do it whatever. Hey, Nacelle Toy Group, if you want it, take it. Whatever. I think you should, because this makes this toy actually awesome. So, yeah, think about that. Do that, why don't you? Make a cool toy that actually toys. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, make a cool toy that actually toys. So, take that with a grain of salt. It'll be in the description, and I hope this inspires you to go and do something with your stuff if it sucks. Because, you know, not everything needs to suck. You can have where you make things better, and I think we all should try to make things better. But please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. What do you think? Are you going to print out these feet that I'm going to link in the description? Because if you're sitting on RoboForce figures because you got them for cheap and they have where they kind of don't stand well, I think it's worth printing out. But that's just me. Thanks for watching. I hope this inspires you. And I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.